Welcome to Just Africa, the program where we explore ideas, cultures, and innovation shaping the continent's future. Language is more than just words. It's memory, identity, and power. Across Africa, indigenous languages are under threat from globalization to cultural shift. But there's also a growing movement to reclaim and revive them. Now, one powerful example is the Yoruba Renaissance, a cultural and linguistic revival that celebrates one of Africa's most influential languages and tradition. So the question is, how can preserving indigenous languages like Yoruba strengthen identity, culture, and even economic opportunity in modern Africa? Reaching you live from our studios in Lagos, I am Olumide Shokoya. I also have Onyi Priye Krumale. Welcome to Just Africa.
Hello, Olumide.
How are you doing?
Good day, everyone. It's nice to be here. The Yoruba language.
Yes.
It's a way of preserving traditional. There's a cultural or an oral traditional part to it. Where my mind can go to quickly is about the storytelling aspect of it.
Yeah.
I've equally been in gatherings, social gatherings, religious gatherings, where after the English language had been spoken, there needs to be a translation through the Yoruba language to the local people so they can have a perfect understanding of what they are being told. And the way it's, when I listened, even when you are not a Yoruba speaking person, you can hear the English language part of it and you can hear the translation in Yoruba at the same time. And the kind of people that were, performing the translation, they are well educated. Some of them are academics, they're professors, and there are others who have PhDs in the academic environment, in the academic world. So whilst they were translating, there is no word, there is no English word, no matter how grammatically huge, big it is, they find a way to break it down. So the one I can remember vividly was when someone said, in the universe or in the whole world, this is what is applicable. And I was trying to listen out for the Yoruba translation, and I heard the man said, Inu bo 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 bo. So, yes. And he said, when he used the word bo 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 bo, so I was wondering, okay, what does that mean? So that can mean like in the whole world or in the universe. And with the way he translated, he used both sound and vocal inflections to repeat a specific word twice to mean the right translation of what he was trying to translate as the universe and the whole world. So I had to quickly capture that, and it didn't leave my mind. I had left school for years, but that word still stuck with me. So the Yoruba language, the way it's spoken in places like Osun State and some other parts of Nigeria is different from the way you have in Lagos. And that has a way of really, I could relate with it. And it's a very, very good experience to have.
While today we're talking about preserving identity, the Yoruba Renaissance, one of the things that I like significantly to Yoruba culture is the name. They always try to preserve identity through the name. So every person, every Yoruba person carries a name that signifies, that takes them back to their identity. So sometimes when you meet certain people and they tell you their surname, you can quickly identify where that person is from. E.g., my surname, Shokoya. Once you hear that name, it's synonymous with Ogun State. So most people, when I introduce myself, they know, oh, Ogun State, what part of Ogun State? And sometimes Yoruba is also used to describe certain things that when you now translate it, you begin to understand. Like the popular Ojuelegba. Now, Ojuelegba, that is the eye of someone who holds a cane. That is the masquerade. Ojuelegba.
The eye of the masquerade.
Thank you. So Ojuelegba actually was a particular place. It was a shrine. The popular Ojuelegba, there's a particular shrine, though it's been demolished and something else is going. But that place actually was the shrine of a masquerade. So that's why it's Ojuelegba.
Historically. It was a shrine.
Now look at the way Yoruba was able to describe a masquerade. The cane, The masculine is always synonymous with the king. It's
Okay.
always, so it is Ojuelegba. There are other names like that that are very beautiful. If you're just joining us, we're talking about a very important topic. It has to do with preserving identity, the Yoruba Renaissance. Now, joining us to unpack this robust topic is Ifeoluwa Elufison. I hope I got that name correct. A Yoruba educator, cultural advocate, and founder of Ewa Ede Yoruba Academy. So glad to have you on the program.
Thank you so much for having me, sir.
Correct.
Sorry, get that.
Your name?
Yes, my name is Ifeoluwa Elufison.
Okay. So let me start. Elufison, take us through. What's the meaning?
Okay, so I am from Osun State, Ile-Ife to be precise. There is a saying, they say Ife mefa, Elu lo shekeje. So when you hear Elu, you definitely know that, oh, this person is from here. Just like you mentioned the other time, from the names, okay, this is where you are from. So yeah, so if you want me to break it down for you, Elu Fison, it was believed that Elu is a deity that saved our forefathers, right? So Elu Fison is like what you're paying back to somebody that has helped you conquer your enemies. That was where the name was derived from. So
Okay. Thank you very much. You know, one of the things I don't seem to wrap my head around is sometimes now I asked you the meaning of your surname and you were able to explain it to me, but we can't say the same for a whole lot of other Yoruba people. When you ask them, what's the meaning or what is behind your name? What came about your name, especially your surname? So why do you think Yoruba language is such an essential part of our cultural identity? I guess the network is a bit. I wanted to, get a grasp of why a lot of people, because when you ask certain people that what is the meaning of your name, they probably don't. Like I met a lady who said her name is Ola.
Ola.
So I asked her, okay, Ola means what? She said no, tomorrow. And I said Ola. So she didn't even know the correct pronunciation.
Pronunciation of her name.
Of her name. It was when she translated, and I said, no, it's not Ola, it is Ola. Okay, let's have Elufison back. Elufison, glad to have you.
yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, great.
And why is the language such an essential part of cultural identity?
Why do I think language is a part of cultural identity?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you. So one thing I want us to know is that it carries the soul of a people, right? It tells us this is where this person is from. It shows us the values, the worldview, the history. When you speak a language, you definitely know that this person is from here. Let me give an illustration. Okay, so when you go to the market to buy something and you're buying something from an Hausa man and you're speaking Yoruba, he's going to sell it to you, right? But when you speak Hausa to him, it feels like, oh, this person is a part of where I am from. I understand the language better. I am able to relate well with this person. Do you understand? So it identifies people. You know that, oh, this person is with me. And you're like, oh, okay, I can share things with this person. I can talk to this person. We can relate well on the same level. Do you understand? So that is it. So for Yorubas now, we have the orikis, we have the proverbs, and we have all of these things, the songs, the stories that we tell, all of those things, they are imbibed in our language. Do you understand? It shows that, okay, this is where we are from. It helps us to resonate well. Do you understand? So they carry wisdom. Our language carries wisdom, and it shows that this is our heritage. Do you understand? So when a language is lost, a large part of culture disappears with it.
All right, thank you very much, Ifeoluwa. Now, you mentioned something, and I want you to really stress it out. Oriki. I don't have one, sadly. But Oriki is something that it praises you, it woos you. Tell us the history of Oriki and what it signifies.
Okay, thank you. So for Oriki, for me, I have a one, the short one that is given to everyone. I have one, and other people to have. Some people do not have it, right? But Oriki is a praise poetry. It is used to praise a person. We have different kinds. We have Oriki Orile, Oriki Ilu. You know, okay, for me now, I claim to be from of Olofa for my Oriki Orile. Do you understand? So it helps, when you've done something good and they want to praise you. That's where it comes from. Like, oh, ẹni yìí ti ṣe nǹkan dáadáa, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbóríyìn fún, ẹ jẹ́ ká kì í. Then they start to chant, they start to praise you, then your head starts to swell. Oriki Borokini, people that are wealthy, different things have, in Yoruba language, in Yoruba land, there is nothing that does not have its name, the name that they call it. So, for instance, now, a person that is very tall, they call the person Aguntasholo, right? That is an Oriki for the person. Do you understand? Land has its own. Everything has its own. Like the name, if you don't want to use the normal name that everybody is used to, you can just, like mine now, I was given Ashake, a person that was picked, that was selected and pampered. Do you understand? So that's just the way it is.
Okay, thank you very much. Sometimes when, like you said, language is an identity, the core identity of a people. And when we look at language and the names and how things are named according to the understanding, it proceeds from sometimes from their tradition, from the folklore, and what they seem to, the kind of impression or the meaning they are trying to give. Now, let's talk about name for a while. You said you were called Ashake and someone that was picked, pampered, and selected. When the parents of these people, the Yoruba people, were given names, do they also have the ones that does not typify or exemplify praise, that has a negative undertone?
I wouldn't say that. Okay, so there is an adage in Yoruba that says "Ilela wo kato somo loruko," which means that you look at what is happening in that house before you name the child, right? Why there are some names that, well, there are some names that can mean good things. I've not really come across a name that can mean a bad thing in Yoruba language. But there are some, for instance, if you name a child Omolaja in Yoruba land, it's believed that that child came in while the parents are having issues. Do you understand? So maybe the parents were separated, or they have been fighting and all. Then the child came in at that time. So they believe that at that time it is that child that has helped them. Do you understand? To maintain decorum. So they can name the child Omolaja, torí pé ó ti la ìjà, because he has helped them with the fights. Do you understand? He has maintained decorum. So those are the things. They look at what is going on at that moment. They look at how the house is. They look at what is happening around. Then they name the child. So that is how they name child in Yoruba land.
Okay. All right. So I was trying to, during the introduction of the program, my colleague Olumide actually made references to the popular place in Lagos State called Ojuelegba. So can you, if just with the name, an historical background also, if you have it, why it was called Ojuelegba. What does Ojuelegba mean? Now it's a popular place for both people who are above the middle class, including elites, and it's a boisterous market, commerce, and trade taking place in that area. I want to know if it actually reflects the name, if what is currently happening now reflects the original meaning behind the name.
Okay, so I really do not have background story for that, but what I would just say is from the name, the way the name was coined, Oju Elegba. What I can say to that is, you would know that this might be a place where masquerades, where it can be where they dwell. It can be where they come to display. Do you understand? So it can be anything. Oju Elegba, the eyes of the masquerade. So it can be, this is where they come to. This place is centered for them. Nobody can go there. Nobody can move there. Do you understand? I don't have a backstory to that, but from the name, you can depict the meaning from it. Oju Elegba. Oju Elegba. Just like we have Orita Meta, right? Orita Meta, you know that it's a T junction, right? You know that, okay, there is a route going to this place, there is another one, there is another one. Then the middle is what we call Orita Meta. At that junction, it's a T junction. So the name would already sell the meaning out. That's one thing I love for Yoruba language, because if you say Orita Meta, what comes to your head is, okay, there is a T junction, there are routes, there are paths. So the middle, he already gave it away.
Okay, all right, sorry. Now, there's a reason why I want to link where you have stopped in explaining the Orita Meta to a popular Yoruba play. I'm trying to I can't get the Yoruba name, but the interpretation says the gods are not to blame. And I think the name Orita Meta actually featured in that particular play where it was said that the king's son, there was a prophecy or by the gods that the king's son is going to kill the king and marry the king's wife or marry his mother. And they were told to take the child to an evil forest. It's a movie, it's a play, it's a book. But could you, I know you are not unaware of it, could you please speak a little bit about it and how it connects with the Orita Meta explanation you were giving earlier?
So I should speak about the book.
No, not the book. I mean, in its connection about the Yoruba adage of Orita Meta in connection with how it links with that Yoruba play.
Okay, so first of Orita Meta is not an adage, right? It's just a word. And if I get what you're saying, I should do correctly. I should link it up. Okay, so Orita Meta, mostly when in the olden days, when they go to herbalist and all of those things, right? They tell them to make sacrifices and they tell them to go and place it at the T junction, which is the Orita Meta. They will tell them, Egbe Ebo, Losi Orita Meta, take the sacrifice to the T junction. So it is believed, yes, let me use that word. It is believed that at that T junction, once you drop your what's it called now, your sacrifice, it is believed that the what's it called, the earth and the heaven can meet at that point. Do you understand? It is believed that spiritual things can happen at that point, Orita Meta, because it is three paths, right? The parts are three. Do you understand? So they will tell you, take it to this place. Why would they not tell you that just put it by the side of the road? Because it is significant. They will not tell you that just put it by the door. Because Orita Meta is significant, right? There is a significance, there is an importance. It is important, there's an importance that it's olden, right? So they tell you, drop it there, right? And when you drop it, don't look at it, because if you are looking at it, you don't know what can happen to you. You can go blind, you can die, anything can happen. So just drop it and leave. Because at that point that you're dropping, at that point, things are happening already spiritually. Things are happening already. Things are going up and down, and you should not see it, right? So I think that answers your question.
All right. So, many African countries, many African families rather, are shifting towards English, French, or Portuguese in their daily communications. I mean, in some homes, it's English, English all the way. So why do you think the younger generations are moving away from speaking Yoruba fluently? And what risks do we face as a society if indigenous languages like Yoruba continue to decline?
Thank you. So, first things first, I'll say Yoruba language is a very sweet language. Like, it's wide, it has everything. Yoruba language is rich in beauty and culture. That's it. So, I feel like most people, when I was in school, then they would tell you, don't speak vernacular. They would tell you, don't speak Yoruba, don't speak in English, and all of those things. This is where it has led us to, right? Don't speak vernacular. Don't say anything. Speak in English. Even in homes these days, they don't allow their children to speak in Yoruba. They speak in English. The English that we have spoken in school, we are still coming on to come and speak the English. No, speak to your children in their mother tongue. The truth is, okay, so during my NYSC, I was deployed to Jos, and when I was there, before I redeployed, before I came back, when I was there and I saw different persons, Hausa people, like the Hausas, they speak to their children in their language. Why are they not speaking to their children in Yoruba language, in English language rather? They speak to, because they want them to understand. They are trying to inculcate it into them. But we, yeah, they'll say Olaju today. We are in the time of civilization, westernization. They've brought everything. So if you are speaking Yoruba, some people look at you like, when you speak in English, it's a way of showing that you are modern. It's a way of showing that you are educated. That's not it. Because at the end of the day, those people there, they are coming to learn our language. And if the care is not taken, they will be the ones to teach us our language. But people like me, we not allow that to happen. So it's just like I'm imploring people, learn to speak it. Some people will say I grew up in the US. I can't speak it. I can't speak it. You can't speak. Learn it. Yes, Rome was not built in a day, right? But learn it from the tata that you are learning. Learn it step by step, step by step. Before you know it, you will learn how to speak it. But if you are saying, my child is not going to this school. You should not speak Yoruba in the house. In this school, you are not allowing to speak Yoruba. In your house, you are not allowing it. So where do you want to allow? I think we all need to do better, because at the end of the day, the language would go, if there is the language will go into extinction, but we will not allow that to happen.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So now let's look at it from another perspective. When I was in schooling in the southwestern part of the country, you have to learn the language. You have a teacher who in secondary school, and you have to be taught Yoruba language. And that's where you're not only taught the language, you're somehow they introduce those who are not, they introduce everyone to culture, to Yoruba language, even to the university. Whilst the admission officer was looking through my result, he saw that I got a credit in Yoruba language. He had to tick it, and to that extent, I did Yoruba traditional institution as part of the courses I studied when doing public administration in the university. So how can the Yoruba language then be preserved beyond what we do in class? And how can it then also be monetized? Because the China, in University of Lagos, you pay to learn or study Chinese. And when you are being taught the Chinese language, they are teaching you the culture of the Chinese people. It is something that is learned in universities. But in the universities now that we have in Nigeria, even in the southwestern part of the country, do people really come into the university to study Yoruba? And how can this be monetized, and how can government influence this through policy?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So, first things first is that schools play a crucial role in revitalizing indigenous languages, right? From Okay, so when you are in school and you say you don't want these children to speak this, they only speak Yoruba during Yoruba language class. Some schools don't even have they don't have the teacher for that. Some schools don't even take the language at all, right? But one thing I would say is that there should be a way that we can integrate indigenous languages like Yoruba language into the formal curriculum. It should not just be an optional subject, like anybody that wants to do it, do it. No, it should be a core component of education, right? Let them learn it, put it in the curriculum, and also train teachers, train people that would not just NC or anybody, no shade to them, please, but like not just random persons, people that are knowledgeable about the language, people that are passionate about teaching it. I studied Yoruba language in the university. Yes. But I can say that most people that study Yoruba language in the university don't even want to do it, don't even like it, don't even want to have anything to do with it. I I fell in love with it at a point. Then I said, "Oh, this is what I want to do." Monetizing it. I By the grace of God, I am a tutor, and locally, globally, I teach Yoruba language to people, even in the diaspora. I teach them and I get my money. Do you understand? There are so many things that you can do with Yoruba language. Chants, I chant. I do Ijala, but I just don't monetize it. I just don't do it for money. I just do it on my own with my friends, families, maybe. But I have friends that make money from chants. All these engagements compare. Alaga Ijuru, Alaga Ijoko. Oh, do you think it's English they use? They use Yoruba. The songs they sing, it's from Yoruba before they now start to now say, we want to translate these things into English. There, there is so much that you can do with Yoruba language.
All right, thank you very much, Ifeoluwa. You said one of the part I caught. You said you teach and you are quite making something for yourself. So I'm sure you are familiar with Ewi. Do you also do Ewi?
I am familiar with Ewi, but what I do mostly is Ijala. Chant. Um, when we're in school, you have to like do all of these things. You have to, but what I really specialized in was Ijala because every other person were going through with Esa, Bigbe. But I said I just wanted to be different from every other person's, right? I just wanted to be different. So I just said, okay, let me just move to Ijala path. And yes, I was good with it. I learned it, and yes, I don't, the only thing I do to make my money is tutoring, teaching. I don't do Ijala to get money. I just do it for fun.
Okay. So now let's move on. Do you think that the creative industry, that's Nollywood, music, Afrobeat, fashion, do you think are playing a role in bringing Yoruba back into the global spotlight?
Hmm. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so I would say they are trying their best, right? I've seen some movies, right? Like Jagun Jagun, like Anikulaku and all of those epic movies. And I would not lie to you, I am intrigued. Like I am so intrigued when I watch those movies and I'm like, oh, the use of words, there are some proverbs. Like that's funny thing is I recommend some of these movies to my students. I tell them if you want to learn fast, listen to music, listen to songs that are being sung in Yoruba, listen, watch movies like all these Jagun Jagun, all these movies, Kunle Afolayan movies and all of that. It would give you, okay, this word, I'm learning this new word. Okay, so I don't know how to pronounce this. You can always go back and say, how did they pronounce it? Okay, what proverb? I will tell them, watch these movies, listen to these songs. If you don't understand, write it down, write it out. When you get back to class, we'll treat it together. Then I will explain better. Because it's not just about me just giving to you, me just dishing out to you. Yes, I would teach you, but you also have to do your part. And I also think that they are trying, like they are really trying their best. They are trying their best. Some songs, when I listen to some songs and I be like, oh wow, these songs, like the lyrics, the words, the way they use their choice of word, the addiction, everything makes sense. And it would help people that want to learn to help them to learn faster.
All right, thank you very much. Now, I want us to look at this. In France, sometimes when you want to secure admission into foreign universities, if the places are in France or maybe Brazil or including Germany, you will see that even though you are going to do some of these courses that you are going to study in these places in English language, there's going to be some form of requirement for you to have a basic knowledge of French, of Portuguese, or of the German language. Germany have their own Goethe institution here in Lagos, Nigeria, where they have made it mandatory for international students to learn their languages. Can we start adopting the same policy here in Nigeria, where if you are coming in, if you maybe you want to school in Lagos, Nigeria, you want to come to Unilag, or you are going to LASU, or you are going to University of Ibadan, there you need to learn. We have to make it mandatory for some of the students to have at least 1 year or 8 months or 6 months study of the Yoruba language, because they do the same thing out there. The same English language that you studied, that you did in primary school, secondary school, and university, the UK, they are going to put you through, having the IETL or IELS, the International English Language. They want to verify how good you are. Can we start having the same? If you're going to do it in northern Nigeria and your university is in northern Nigeria, the Hausa language must be made mandatory for some of the international students that are coming into the country. Do you think we can sustain and preserve our local languages and culture through that means?
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Yes, I think we can do that. We can do that. So, because if you look at all these places that you mentioned, you have to have a knowledge of whatever it is, like their language, even if it's just a tiny bit, you just have to have the knowledge. You have to know how to speak it, even if it's basic. So, I feel like we can also do that here, but we can't just do it alone, all by ourselves. The government, the schools need to be in accordance. They need to say, okay, this is what we want. They need to put out the policy so that it's not that we are just doing anything on our own, or we are just deceiving ourselves. The policy has to stand. Okay, if you want to come here, you need to, for at least 6 months or anything, take the test and all of that. And Okay, so let me just put in this. One of the things that it's a long-term goal for AYD Yoruba Academy, by the grace of God. We are looking into that for the nearest future, actually, because it's possible. And I mean, that will help our language to be preserved. It will help them to, okay, this is their language, this is their requirement. You have to learn the language. Then by that, our language will not even go into extinction. By that, we'll not lose speakers.
Thank you very much. Now, one of the reasons why the French language, the Portuguese language, the German language, and all other international languages would never go into extinction is that if you are going to work as someone in the United Nations, you are going to apply for a job, somehow they made it very, very mandatory that you must know how to speak an international language, which is some of these languages that I've mentioned. But most of the languages in Africa are most of the time not seen or categorized or classified to be international language. Yoruba is not only speaking in Nigeria, it's speaking in some other African countries as well. How can we move it from Nigeria or continental to a global language whereby it can also be made mandatory to work in the African Union or in the United Nations so that it will not go into extinction? We can have Germans or Brazilians coming to study the Yoruba language because they need to work somewhere in Africa.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so I'm glad to let you know that there is a part of Brazil that speak the Yoruba language, right? So Yoruba language is not local. We are going global already. We have even gone global already. We are not small, sir. Okay, so the thing is, most people, most people outside of Nigeria, they pay. Because they want to, they know they okay, so there is something I tell people in Yoruba, I tell them that our own language here, Kojawaloju, we just look at it as we don't know what we have, we don't know the value. But because they know the value, they know how far it has gone. They know that okay, this thing is hot cake, this language. Interpreters are needed, Yoruba interpreters everywhere everywhere. Like I get the update every now and then. Yoruba interpreters are needed. Yoruba translators are needed. They are needed everywhere. So now it is left to us, we that own the language, to know what we are doing. It is left to us to sit tight and don't let this language be stolen from us. Preserve it, yes, and make it global. It has gone global, like I said before, but we can make it more global. There is nothing wrong if there is a requirement, if you want to join the United Nations and there is a requirement that says that you must know how to speak Yoruba language, it's a plus on our side. It would even make our language more acceptable. Like people would really want to learn. Like, what is even this Yoruba language that they are saying? I want to learn it. So people will want to learn and say, okay, this language, let us even see. People that know the value of Yoruba language, they are learning it. And they love it. They love the culture. They are learning the culture. They are learning everything, the tradition. I've had students, series of students, that will tell me, I want to come to Nigeria. I just want to come and see how things are done. I just want to see this or that. And they come. They do what they want to do. And say, oh, I love you. I love the language. I do this. I love your outfit. I love the way people dress here. Because they know the value. But we that own the language, we don't know the value of what we are carrying. We don't know what it is. We don't know how precious our language is. We don't know how far the language can go and can take us.
Thank you very much, Ifeoluwa. I want to read a comment on our YouTube page. It says here, that's by RCCG Victory Court. I feel our government need to overhaul our educational curriculum. So, two questions in one. You said charity begins at home. If we really want to preserve this language, I think we need to start imbibing it in our own country here. So do you see a situation whereby, just like Japan, China, languages, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, are taught for subjects. That is, subjects are taught in Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa. Do you see a situation in the near future of that happening? Second question is, do you believe that for us to be able to preserve this language, whether Igbo, Yoruba, or Hausa, we first need to accept it in offices, civil service, ministries, departments, and agencies? Do you feel this way?
Thank you, sir. Okay, I'm going to start from the last question. Yes, we need to accept. You know, if you don't accept something, there is no there is no how you can be in sync with that thing or you can be in tune with it, right? You need to accept it. It needs to be spoken. Yes, that is it is a language. It does not need to be kept. It does not need to be covered up. Language is to be spoken, right? How I wish this session was done in Yoruba language, but it's okay. Yeah, so it needs to be spoken. Accept it. Not that you now come and say, oh, you are in the workplace, you cannot be speaking this language. Please, who brought the English language at first? The English language is not our language. No, my mother tongue is Yoruba language. It is my native language. English language is not my native language. So I feel like we are just copying. We are just taking what is not our own. Whereas we should take up what is our own, polish it, and carry it. The way we carry our everything, the way we carry our career and everything on our head. I feel like that's the way we should also carry our language for the whole world to see, for them to know, okay, this is what we have. And we are carrying it with pride because it is our heritage, it is our identity. This is who we are, right? So that is, I feel like it should be accepted. It should be accepted everywhere, in every nook and cranny. Accept it. Civil service, in the offices, everywhere, in schools. Let it be accepted. Let people speak. Let them speak. It's their language. Don't deprive them of it. Don't deprive them of the freedom to speak their language. It is what and who we are. This is us. This is our culture. This is our identity.
Thank you very much. Now, gone are the days where when I newly got to Lagos and watching television, you see newscasters on major television stations, they read the news in English. Then there's another time news bulletin, they read the news in Yoruba language, in Igbo language, in the Hausa language. But as we speak now, all these have gone into extinction. Does it look like we are really protecting or preserving our local dialect? Don't you think that the influence or the consequences of globalization has completely washed away this trend?
Okay, thank you so much for that. So, while I was growing up, right, I never knew I was even going to study Yoruba language to start with. So because I love to watch the news, I love to watch programs, Yoruba programs then. Like it interests me, it just finds a way to interest me. And I just watch it and all of that. And today I can say that these things are no more. For instance, Bangba Dekun, I watch on BCOS then. I watch it. I watch all of these programs. I watch them, right? But now, what do we see? It's not even up to half. And we can't do it alone. We as advocates, we as the culture advocates, we cannot do it alone. There is a little to what we can do. Like there is an adage in Yoruba that says "Agbajo ọwọ́ la fi ń sọ̀yà, àjèjì ọwọ́ kan kò gbẹ́rù dórí tó tó ṣe bí òwe." We can come together and preserve our language. But when one person, two persons, three persons are doing it, it won't be as effective. It's just few Yoruba programs that you see now. And okay, that are casting news, they cast in Yoruba. How many radio stations safe? Most of their programs are in English.
Hello, you just said something in Yoruba language. Could you please translate it for us to hear and know exactly what it meant?
Okay. So what I said is, I said Agbajowo Lafin Soya. That means we are here. Let everybody come together to support, right? So, for instance, now, if we want to do a tax, maybe we have an event and everybody is on it, every hands are on deck. It will move fast. Do you understand? It will move fast. Everything will be set, and we can, in no time, we start what we want to start. Àjèjì ọwọ́ kan kò gbẹ́rù dórí. One hand cannot lift anything from the floor. If you want to lift a load and put on your head, one hand cannot do that. So you have to be in sync. You have to be in unity. Everybody has to come together to support. Do you understand? Baruku to everybody. Everybody has to be together. Everybody has to come together to support and say, okay, this is my own quota. This is how I want to preserve the language. This is what I want to do to preserve the language. Not that it's just one person. One person cannot do anything. It won't be as effective.
All right, thank you very much, Ifeoluwa. I have two questions in one. First question, when it comes to official languages, other countries, South Africa has 11, Zimbabwe has 16, Namibia also has multiple, Tanzania has about 2 to 3, but Nigeria has just English as their official language. Why do you think this is so, and what can we do in preserving identity in language? What do you think, what would you recommend at this point should be done?
Okay, thank you, sir. So, I feel like, everybody is just claiming what is not. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the way I feel, right? English, okay, I agree. English is our official language, no problem. But I feel like we should come in terms, just like we said the other time. Let us accept, right? Accept that this is it. This is our language. Nobody is taking it from us. We are the owner. We are the ones that own it, right? This is our language. And funny thing is, in Yoruba language, there are other dialects. If you go to like where I am from, they have their own dialect. They have the way they speak. They don't speak the normal Yoruba language. And other places too do, right? So we have to, and okay, if I go to the place now, okay, so I was talking to somebody that was from there. The person said, do you even understand it? I said, okay, I understand a bit. And person was saying, okay, what does this mean? What does this mean? I was able to say that, right? But now, if I'm claiming that that is not my language, I don't know, because it's not for me. I'm claiming somebody else's language. Then I can't even understand what you're saying. I lost it already, right? I already lost that part. Do you understand? So I feel like we should come to acceptance. As much as we are saying we want to preserve, we don't want these languages to go into extinction, the government also has things to do to help us with, because we can't do it alone. Everybody has their part to play, not just the government. We as individuals, schools have their part to play. Everyone has their part to play in this. So we have to come together to know, to accept that this is our identity. This is who we are. This is what we are. This is our pride and our heritage. English language is not our pride and our heritage. It's an official language, yes. I'm not disputing that. But there is still something that we are missing. Indigenous languages, our Yoruba language. Everywhere I go, I am a proud speaker of the Yoruba language. Everywhere I go, I am a proud speaker of the Yoruba language. I speak it with my full chest. I speak it, right? So that is what.
All right, thank you very much, Ifeoluwa. Still looking at preserving identity through language, the Yoruba Renaissance. And we have Ifeoluwa Elufison, who is still with us. So glad to have you, Ifeoluwa.
Sure.
All right, so the big one, I mean, it should have even, but I was saving the best for the last. The coronation ceremony of Oluibadan, which is holding today in Ibadan, Oyo State. How's the atmosphere like, first of all? And tell us, what is the importance, what is the significance of today, the coronation of the Oluibadan, to the Yoruba Renaissance?
Thank you, sir. Okay, so I won't lie to you. Everyone is everyone is excited. I'm excited actually. Um because but as it is right now, everywhere is jam-packed, everywhere is blocked, everyone wants to witness it, you know. Um the Olubadan, Olu of Ibadan, Olubadan, Oba Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja Baba Kekpeo, is one person that I know that, oh yeah, he really deserves this, right? So everybody's coming all out for him because Mm, I've heard things about the man, and I mean, at least I've been born during his tenure, so I know what he did. My mom is a retired civil servant, and I know the praises they sang during his time then, and I know the things that he did, the impact that he had. So this, I would say, is a well-deserved achievement. Yes. So being a former governor, being a former senator, it is well deserved, right? And I would say he deserves everything because everybody's coming from far and near, everybody's coming from everywhere to come and celebrate him. And this is important, right? Because they'll say you cannot be without a head, right? So this is like the head of Ibadan, is the one that is in charge, is the Olu of Ibadan land, is the one that is in charge, is the head. So it is well deserved. Trust me. Trust me, I am so happy that he is the Olu of Ibadan land currently. And the coronation so far, as I've been following in for now, it has been going on well. Everything has been in place. Everybody has been maintaining decorum. Yes.
All right, thank you, Ife Oluwa Elufison, for your insight, and thank you for joining us on Just Africa. And of course, congratulations to the coronation of Oba Rashid Ladoja, the Olubadan of Ibadan land. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Quite an interesting one.
Yes.
I also stayed in Ibadan for quite a while, and I mean, if not for what we're doing here, I probably would have been at the coronation ceremony happening at Mapo Hall. I saw clips of it. There was a lot of renovation. There was a lot of, so many things, artifacts, the immense preparation for today. I mean, it's enormous.
Yeah, yes, it is. And I think it has been, I don't want to say long overdue. However, since the demise of the previous Olubadan, there's been this back and forth on who's going to mount the stool. And it's a good thing for the people of Ibadan that Rashid, Senator Rashid, is now being installed. And so it will continue to preserve the cultural heritage
Yes.
of the people in Oyo State and in Ibadan, actually. And be carried from one dispensation to the other.
Another.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us on the program. In part 2 of the program, we are going to entertainment law, protecting creativity in Nigeria's booming music industry, which refers to the body of legal principles, regulations, and contractual practices that govern the creation, ownership, distribution, and monetization of music. It encompasses copyright law, intellectual property rights, contract negotiation, royalties, licensing, digital streaming agreements, and dispute resolution at its core. It's about ensuring that musicians, producers, and other stakeholders can protect their creative works, earn a fair compensation, and expand their careers in rapidly evolving business environment. Now, we have our guest who's joining us. His name is Anointing Oluwaseun Ademoye. He is a Nigerian lawyer and musician dedicated to bridging the gap between creativity and legal protection. He's a graduate of law with expertise in intellectual property and entertainment law. Ademoye provides a legal counsel to artists, producers and record labels on issues ranging from contract negotiation to digital rights management. As an active musician, he brings first-hand understanding of the creative process, giving him unique insight into the challenges that artists face in protecting their work and securing fair compensation in Nigeria's fast-growing music industry. Anointing Oluwaseun Ademoye, you are welcome to Just Africa. Many thanks for joining us on the program today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, it's good to have you. Entertainment and lawyer. You're a musician and a lawyer. Well, it looks like you're not only going to be entertaining Nigerians or the world, you're also going to be fighting. How do you explain these two? Okay. I don't know what's happening, and I think you should come back and join us briefly. So, music,
Yes.
and which is entertainment, and being a lawyer, two different things.
True.
However, we have metamorphosed from the generation where we had, where we used to live in the past, where musicians don't know how to protect their intellectual properties, where copywriting and music lawyers were not, the norm or the order of the day. But today we see where you can't just pick up anybody's work and personalize it.
Yes.
And I also know you have some form of footprint when it comes to music production and how it is to be protected. I spoke with someone who is an associate professor in music in Unilag, and he told me about some form of cases they handled in court where it is so peculiar from the normal legal practice that sometimes lawyers, when some of the big names in Nigeria music industry have been taken to court of copying other people's work.
Yes.
And lawyers and music experts, like those who have up to PhD level and professors of music, had to be in court to present the case as examiners and to explain it better to the magistrates and to the lawyers, who then had to, depend on that institutional guidance. As not only lecturers, but institutional, who explains that, okay, if you're going to take someone to court, they have to look at the beats of the song, they have to look at the lyrics of the song, they have to look at the music of the song before justice or a verdict is given in that case. It's something that's quite strange, and sometimes I wonder, and I want to know, as a musician and a lawyer that Ademoye is, and how that part really applies.
The music business, or Afrobeats, is one of Africa's greatest export to other continents, and it has really done a whole lot. It has put us on a global map with the likes of Burna Boy, with the likes of Whiskey, Tiwa Savage, even our very own Femi Kuti, Seun Kuti. It has put us in a position whereby we are actually leading. Now, it is them copying us. So we've had so many different types of Afrobeat. It has spawned from Afrobeat. We've had Afropop. We have Afro drill. We have this, that, so many other things. Even the Amapiano takes a bit of element from the Afrobeat. So it is something that is actually good. Now, beyond the talent, there's the music business. And you have to understand it too. What happens is that most of these artists who fall into litigation and all that don't understand the music part, the business part.
The business part of the music industry.
The music industry. That's why they say it is 10% talent, 90% work. Do you understand? Okay. That is what they actually mean. So understanding this has to do with your royalties, everything that is being accrued to you as an artist or producer, and how to go about it so that you will not be cheated.
Okay. All right. Anointing Oluwaseun Ademoye, Nigerian musician and lawyer. Are you there? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Yes, great. So now let's have this conversation. Talk to us about the music business and where the law comes to apply in Nigeria.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you come?
I mean, talk to us about the music industry in Nigeria and where, as a lawyer, your work and your role, the role that you play in that industry.
The work and roll in.
Your role as a lawyer, the role as a lawyer that you play. I don't know if you can hear me clearly, but we are trying to marry both the talent part as a musician and the other part as a businessman in the industry who is also acquainted with the knowledge of the law that relates to that industry and how these practitioners, how they protect their talents, how they protect their creativity in terms of beat, in terms of lyrics, and how some other musicians have run into debt or gone bankrupt because without permission they copied the work of others. Now, if you can hear me clearly.
Yeah.
You heard what I said?
Yes.
Please respond to that.
Okay, so we can't underestimate or we can't underrate the role of legal services or legal practitioners in in the Nigerian entertainment industry. We as legal practitioners, we play the advisory role. We try as much as possible to guide these artists through things they should know, things they are aware of, and things they are not aware of. We let them know the risk involved in um, agreeing to certain contracts and things they get themselves into. But then there is a problem that we have generally, and the reason it seems as if the legal aspect of it is not really popping out. It's not really obvious in all of this scenarios that many of these artists don't listen to us. So we basically play the advisory role in the whole thing, and then it's left for you, or it's left to you as the artist to listen to whoever your lawyer is, or you listen to your lawyer. Are you there?
Yes, loud and clear. I can hear you.
Yeah, so that's basically what we do. We play the advisory role and we serve as a guide in putting you through clauses you may not be aware of while signing your contract.
All right, thank you very much. You made you made a statement. You said they don't listen to you. Why do you think these artists, producers do not listen to their lawyers? I mean, their lawyers should be their best friend. If I should say, I mean, after their wives and any other close relative, their lawyers should be very close. So why do you think they don't listen?
Well, a lot of artists are so desperate. What do you expect of an artist who has never been in the mainstream, who has not really seen the limelight, and then you get a contract where when you are told you'll be given a label car, a label house, you'll be earning so amount, and then and a lot of artists try as much as possible to discourage you from negotiating. You're meant to focus more on the negotiation clause rather than the transfer of assignments. Transfer of assignments, which involves or includes um, assigning your absolute rights out, or assigning your masters of publishing rights out to whoever the label is. So a lot of artists are they're so in a hurry, they're so eager. Okay, I want to blow, I want to be there. Oh, I have a friend who a record label picked on last year, and I see where he is today. So some of those things are, one of those things that contribute to this problem. And then, I always say something that even if you yourself you're not educated, there are two things that can save you in a situation like this. Either you don't need to go to school for 4 years or 6 years or whatever to be educated. All you need is enlightenment. Let me put it that way. If you're either educated or you have somebody who is learned. But unfortunately, most of these artists are not enlightened, they're not educated. They have somebody who is learned with them, but then they don't listen to those people. So, we can't force them. It's just a normal thing it's a normal trait, usual trait amongst especially up and coming artists.
Thank you very much. I would like to also ask, how can copyright and intellectual property law, protect Nigerian artists from exploitation? And I'm sure you are aware of COSUM. They are also in charge of collecting royalties for artists and all that. What's your take on them and their activities, their role in the music industry?
Well. They try as much as possible to make sure artists' creativity is protected. They also let out some regulations on public plays and all of that, and then they make sure whatever the artist is putting out there, because there are some artists that there was a time that a colleague of mine who is a musician dropped a song. The song went a bit viral on TikTok, and they got through to him. Okay, we are inviting you to our organization. Come and register and make sure your things, your songs, your sound, and all of those things are documented. Is one of those things. So we can't undermine their role in the Nigerian entertainment industry. But many of these artists still, I'm still bent on the fact that many of these artists don't have people who put them through. And even if though they have somebody who puts them through, a learned CEO who puts them through, they still do not listen.
Thank you very much, Anointing Oluwaseun Ademoye. Now, I need you to tell us, for young, upcoming music artists that are out there, what do they want to sign a contract? What do they look out for in a contract? Hire a lawyer, a music lawyer, a copyright lawyer like you. Most of you don't come cheap. Maybe that's the reason why they run away. Also, what do they look at? What are the steps to go through before signing a contract? What are the things to look out for? Could you please educate these people using this platform now? Okay.
That was a very brilliant question. I was even about to... Okay, I think we have him back.
Okay. Anointing Oluwaseun, did you hear my question?
Yeah. They look out for in contracts.
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, we entertainment lawyers act as the guide and shield, like I said before, and we review and negotiate contracts by making sure artists don't unknowingly sign away their masters, publishing rights or likeness. And we also educate artists about how their rights help structure their deals. And so that everybody won't have problems, and they shouldn't just rely on gentleman deals. So if you're signing your contract as an artist, you have to look out for certain clauses. You have to look out for you have to negotiate your deals. If I'm having 100% income, if the label is going to split up my income, how much is the label taking, and how is it affecting my own pocket at the end of the day? We have to look into the years of contract signed as well. It's very, very, very important. A lot of artists at the end of the day just sign about 5 years contract. They sign even more without knowing, because some of these clauses look ambiguous to them. So the basic advice I just have for up and coming artists out there is just get a learned silk, get an advocate to advocate on your behalf and put you through these things. It's just as simple as that.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, there are some persons who they took some of the big names in the Nigerian music industry to court. They said that they sang a song, they sang the beat of the song, they had the lyrics of the song, and they posted it on social media. But nobody knew them, so the music did not go viral. But some other artist, years after, goes on, picked up that song, picked up the lyrics, fine-tuned it, and they sang it. Now, because of their fame, and they went viral. But the person who sang it before now took the case to court. And some of those cases they came out, but there was a clause that said, when you sang this song, it was not documented, you did not register it as your own by copyrighting it. So what actually transpired in cases like that? And using that reference, how would you advise upcoming artists, whether they have gone viral, they have blown, as the popular word is used, or not?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
How would you advise current artists or upcoming artists to own their works, even when it has not been gone, even when it's not known to the world. Are you there? Okay. Okay. So the reason why I'm asking that question, some persons they sang a song, good song, but nobody knew them. Nobody knew this. The sound was just there. And one other artist, maybe 5, 10 years later, went and picked up the same song, refined it, rephrased it, and sang it, and they went viral, and it brought lots of fortune to their pocket. And the person who did it earlier came out and said, no, it's mine. And they took the case to court. And they were told when they finally went to court, the judge gave the final verdict that you didn't copyright it. There was no document that linked to the fact that this song was owned by you. And it's like, okay, but this is the video I did, and it's on known platforms. And they told him that is not equivalent to copywriting. And
Well,
it's funny. I think I'm told that Ademoye is back. Are you there?
Let's hear from
Okay, yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you heard the question I asked you earlier.
Okay. So protecting their rights.
Yes.
A couple of laws. We have a couple of laws that actually protect creativity, especially the musical aspect, or let me say, guiding the entertainment industry generally. First of all, we have the Copyright Act of 2022, which protects. It's a law that protects musical, literary, artistic, and audiovisual works. It provides for that, and I always advise artists or people or entertainers generally to copyright their works is very, very important. This Copyright Act also provides authors their rights, economic and moral rights, and it also introduces the collective management organizations, popularly known as the CMOs, for royalty collections. That's the body generally responsible for royalty collections. And this act especially criminalizes piracy. I need also to know that piracy is beyond a civil doing. Piracy can become a criminal liability. And it's also regarded as a crime against the state because it's one way or the other hurts the earnings of the state. Imagine somebody, just a single person, being mischievous and trying to accumulate income off somebody's hard-earned sweat, intellectual sweat, and also stripping the government of their revenue, because the government also earn revenues from taxes they place on some of this streaming royalties and all of that. So I advise artists that they copyright their work. We also have the Trademark Act that governs intellectual property. The Trademark Act protects the stage names, protects the brands, protects logos, it protects labels. For example, the Maven record label, the Maven has a logo, right? So there has to be a trademark. There's a trademark for that already that protects the brand name Maven and the logo of Maven from being used somewhere else in and outside of Nigeria. So anybody who uses that is regarded as an infringer, and we could take legal steps against such person. We also have the Patents and Design Act, which is less directly used in entertainment anyway, but protect inventions and protect design rights as well. So we need to know these things. They are very, very important. We also have the contracts and the contract and commercial laws. Under the contract and commercial laws, we have the Contract Act, which governs recording contracts, management agreements, publishing deals, and endorsement deals. We also have the Complaints and Allied Matters Act, in a short form known as the CAMA 2020, which allows artists to structure businesses. And that's why we say that entertainment law is that aspect of law that converts creativity into business. It makes creativity into business. So, it involves, labels, publishing houses, and production companies. We also have the Nigerian Labour Act of 2004, which is relevant to employment terms for performance, dancers and crews. It protects their rights as an employee of such label and all of that. So we also have the National Broadcasting Commission, which is known as the NBC, National Broadcasting Commission Code, which regulates broadcasting of music, films, and advertisements, arts generally. And we also have the Nigerian Film Corporation Act, which governs Nollywood and films, the production of frameworks. And it's also important that artists, Nigerian artists, musicians, entertainers can relate their rights to the 1999 Constitution as well, such as the provisions.
Sorry, Ademoye. I really actually can't wait for you to join us back. Now, all these are litany of laws that governs not that governs that creative industry.
Yes.
And I begin to think, the musicians that we have these days, let's say the up and coming musicians, the kind of protection that they have that surround them, but getting entertainment lawyer who can bear with their small state of beginnings to make sure that all these rights or all their creative works are protected with these rights until when they, for the lack of a better word, blew to become the Tiwa Savages and the Burna Boys and the Wizkids of these days. How would they be able to afford the services of a copywriter and an entertainment lawyer? Like,
well, it's all about literacy. It's all about literacy. I think we're having back.
Okay, you're back.
Okay, so I was talking about certain laws.
I know, just a moment. Because of our time, I want to ask you a question very, very important. I sing a song. I compose a song. I shot the video. I put it on YouTube. Does that mean I am the rightful owner of it without doing anything? I just put it on YouTube. Does that make me the rightful owner of it? That's one. Number two, have you handled cases in court with regards to this? Tell us about them.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. You said you make a song, you do a video of a song, and you put it there. Doesn't mean you're the owner of it. That's where technology, IT, tech, comes in contact with the law. And that's where it gets to up the law. Let me give you an instance. For YouTube, you have the YouTube ID. If you're going to upload something on YouTube, YouTube gets your information, your details. So they document your information, your details. If you're under a label, there is a column or a space for you to identify, okay, I'm releasing this song under the supervision of a label. So the copyright and ownership and everything of the song could be, accredited to the label, depending on the kind of agreement or contract you have with the label. Now that is between you and the label. Do you get me? But for somebody like you who is an independent artist, that's why you still need somebody who is there to push you through these things, because they already specify for you, okay, if you're doing this, if you're an independent artist, you register this way. If you're an artist in a record label, you register this way. Are you with me? Issue. There's a case. Let me try and remember. I can't really recall right now, but it's about. I think it has to do with 5-Star Music, about the ownership of a song, copyright of a song, broadcasting and non-broadcasting. You use this, you use that, you use this, you use that. So all of these things are very, very important for us to note. Even the DJs. I don't know if you saw a news some time ago where it was announced that if you're a DJ and you're not in a particular organization, you can't just go out there and just play any songs. If you're being caught, you'll pay a fine. So some of those things, some of those bodies help to regulate these things and prevent the infringement of rights. So that's how it works.
All right, thank you very much, Oluwaseun. I have a whole lot of questions, but let's start with this one. In the music business, for those who are well familiar and have entertainment lawyers, you hear of mechanical rights, you hear of publishing rights, you even hear of royalties, split sheet. Let's stop there. Can you explain each of these? Mechanical right, publishing right, and split sheet.
Mechanical rights?
Yes.
Okay, so as a Nigerian artist or as an entertainer, you have a couple of rights. When you talk of publishing rights, you know, your right to put out things out there in your name. Are you listening? Are you there?
Continue.
Yes.
That autonomy as somebody who owns an idea, who has an idea to put out things in your name, in that particular name, and it belongs to you. Those many of those things can be accredited to your name. So, like I said before, I was saying something about artists knowing their constitution as regards to artists knowing their right as regards to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, such as the provision of Section 39 that talks about the freedom of expression. Artists can express themselves in their song. After you publish your song, after publishing your song, you can express yourself in your song. You know, anything you can say anything you like, as far as it is from you and all of that, and as far as it don't cause harm to somebody else, as far as it doesn't defame somebody else, as far as it doesn't cause harm to anybody or the state. And also section I guess 40 or 44 that has to do with the right to own property. Intellectual property is one of those properties. Just as we know, we have two branches of property. We have the real property, we have the intellectual property. So we really need to know that it's very, 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 very important. And we should also know about the Cybercrime Act that has to do with protection of, protection of people against defamatory statements, and that's where it comes to regulate. That's when it comes to regulate things that you say in your song. So, like I said, as far as it doesn't cause harm to anybody, you have the freedom to express yourself.
All right, thank you very much, Oluwaseun. Let me ask the last question now. Let's say, for instance, I'm a music producer, and someone approaches me and says, okay, make this beat for me for a song. And I sell that piece of instrumental to that person. And later on in the future, he hears it from someone else, and he comes to me, and I said, oh, what you bought was the leasing right. You did not pay for the exclusive right. These two words have been thrown around so much that it has almost brought about confusion. What is exclusive right, and what is leasing pertaining to the producer?
Okay. When I lease a beat to you, you still don't have an absolute right over that beat that I've given to you. There is a limit to what you can do with that beat or with that instrumental. Probably, this comes for a lot of reasons, probably depending on the type of agreement that you had, the contract that you made. There are some people that have not, that's why you see situations where artists haven't paid their producers in full. You hear stories like that. A lot of producers just sign on to take these things legally because our institutional structure is kind of weak to implement these laws. When you have a leasing right, you're not fully, you don't have absolute right over that instrumental, over that work. But when you're giving exclusively, you can go ahead and publish this instrumental. You can even pass the instrumental on to somebody else at your own discretion. So that's how it works.
Last question: should it be stated? Must it be stated at the very beginning? Because sometimes you have cases whereby, oh, the producer did not tell me, and the producer is like, hey, you're supposed to know that, oh, you bought this beat at a very cheap or giveaway price, so you should know that this is not exclusive. And must it be stated at all times?
In the contract.
In the contract, or verbally, or is it via document?
Okay, clarity is one of the major attributes of a contract. If you're going into a contract, the clauses must be as clear as a crystal. Ambiguity is one of those criteria for which a contract could be disregarded. So if the clauses are not clear, if you're giving me this beat exclusively, if I have exclusive right to this beat, you let me know. If I have a licensing, if I have only a listen right to this beat, you let me know. So clarity is one of those attributes of a contract. A contract that is ambiguous is as good as a substandard contract, in my opinion. So you have to let them know. If this is what you're doing with your artist, let your artist know. That's how it is.
All right. Thank you so much, Anointing Oluwaseun Ademoye. Now, we would like to have you again. Hopefully, the next time we are going to be having you, we'd like to have you physically in the studio so we can have a robust and exhaustive conversation on this, because this is quite a lot of things that musicians and creative artists go through outside. We want to say a very big thank you for joining us on the program today. Oluwaseun Ademoye is a Nigerian lawyer and musician dedicated to bridging the gap between creativity and legal protection, a graduate of law with expertise in intellectual property and entertainment law. Thank you so much. He also provides legal counsel to artists, producers, and record labels on issues ranging from contract negotiation to digital rights management. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to having you again next time live in our studio.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very much welcome. Yes, yeah, I like those exclusive right and all those leasing right questions.
I got to know about it
sorts of
in my dealings, you know, because you had, these are some of the things, you know, it's quite sad that, like he said, that our laws do not really, it's not strong enough.
I think it's strong enough. People are not aware.
Yes, but certain laws are not fully interpreted well so that we understand. Abroad, it's well interpreted, so you know you're right. Once an artist approaches a producer, in advanced climes, it is your lawyers that will do the talking. You are not even going to do any talking. They're just going to go there and have a good time. Yeah, you guys are going to vibe and make beautiful music, and your lawyers will do all the jaw-dropping and every other thing.
Well, we promised to have this conversation next time. We're out of time. We need to go now. And my name is Oyinpuri Kurumale. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at Soap News TV. Good afternoon to you.
It's been a pleasure staying with us Monday to Friday on Soap News Television. Join us again next week for another thrilling edition of Just Africa. I'm Olumide Shukoya. Enjoy your weekend.